Happy Friday. It's time to talk about some music. First on the chopping block, we have two tracks from former Fifth Harmony member Camila Cabello, both off of her upcoming album, The Hurting, the Healing, the Loving. These two tracks, Havana and OMG, both feature guest artists, with Havana showcasing a verse by Young Thug, and OMG featuring backup vocals and a verse from Quavo. Out of these two tracks, Havana is by far the superior song. I'd really like the tribute to Cabello's home nation of Cuba in that particular track, and I feel like it shows off both her voice and her ability to write emotional songs. On the other hand, OMG is more of a song that doesn't really try to take itself seriously, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's really not that deep of a track, but it does show you that Cabello can also write songs that are just mindless fun. Though I do think Quavo's inclusion on that track really detracts from it overall. I'd personally recommend Havana, but if you like that, chances are you'll like OMG as well. Next, we have another single from YouTuber George Miller, or as he is better known, Filthy Frank, called Asian Pizza. It's honestly about what you'd expect from Filthy Frank at this point. It's the same raunchy lyrics, the offensive, haha, dirty jokes that pretty much every Pink Guy song has been up to this point. Personally, I'm kind of sad that he's choosing to go down this rap music path instead of actually making content like he used to, but I guess that's just my own opinion. Indie band Everything Everything released a song off of their album A Fever Dream, titled Desire. I'll be honest, I'm not really that big of a fan of Everything Everything. I really haven't listened to that much of their stuff, but I will say that I enjoyed this track. That's really about all I have to say about it. It's good, but it's very generic. There's just something about every single aspect of it that's been done time and time again, especially a drum beat. I feel almost like it was some sort of stock drum sound, and the band found it and were just like, yeah, that sounds good, let's use that. The lyrics are somewhat interesting, I will give them that. I almost want to say that this sounds like something that Imagine Dragons would put out, but I'm not really sure if that's a fair comparison. Danny Noriega, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, better known as Adore Delano, has a new track out titled Negative Nancy. This is a very grungy punk song with some pretty decent guitar work and songwriting. It's very heavy, very loud, and Noriega's tone goes perfectly with the overall hard-hitting feel the song offers. The lyrics make a lot of sense considering Noriega's background as a gender nonconformist, and I'm sure most moody teenagers will love this song if they hear it. It's edgy, it has meaningful lyrics, I think, either that or I'm just overanalyzing them, and the overall composition is pretty good. I could do without all the sexual tension in the music video, though. I definitely questioned my sexuality a few times watching that. Everyone's favorite American rock band, The Killers, are back with a single titled Run for Cover. The song just screams Killers, and really I don't see how you can think of it as anything else. It's very reminiscent of really all of their work, which is no doubt great for anyone who's a fan. The blending of lyrics, electronics, and guitar work is definitely a highlight in this song. If you like The Killers, you'll probably fall in love with this one. But if you're looking for something new, something they haven't done before, you might be left disappointed. Though really, Who Wants Something New out of the Killers. I think that any rock fan will enjoy this, really regardless of whether or not they're a Killers fan. Moving onwards, we have Belle and Sebastian's We Were Beautiful, a very minimalistic dancey track. I like the more EDM style off of their last album, and although this track isn't the same really as what was shown there, I still feel it's pretty good. I'm glad they're going outside of their comfort zone. It's not for everyone, probably not old-time fans and people who like their older stuff, but I did find it enjoyable enough to listen to a couple times. Not a new track, but instead my highlight music video for the week from Glass Animals. They released what is supposedly the last music video from their 2016 album, How to Be a Human Being. This video is for the track Agnes, which was dropped as a single in June. The music video itself breaks away from the previous style of Glass Animal music videos, at least from that album, going for a more surrealistic and symbolic feel than a cinematic style that they were doing earlier. I do have to say, it's the only music video I've ever seen that was filmed inside of a human centrifuge. So props to Dave Bailey for writing that thing an apparent 18 times. It's overall a very solid and really actually kind of sad video, yet confusing. I feel it goes well with the track itself. Check it out. YG's got a new single out, YNS, and although it's really about what you'd expect from him at this point, it's got a pretty nice flow with some nice head-bobbing beats, and of course a lot of spitting fire, as the kids tend to say. The lyrics are pretty gritty and hard-hitting, very sexually violent, which is exactly what you would expect if you've listened to any of his previous works. But they're not really anything special coming from him. It's not an amazing track, but it's definitely better than a lot of other things this week, and a fairly decent YNS track. Next up we have Him, released from the upcoming Kesha album, Rainbow. And musically, I'm not surprised at all that this is a Kesha song. I mean, you could tell me the song was from any of her older albums, and frankly, I would believe you. It's mellow, of course uses heavy auto-tune and electronics, and it's what you'd expect from her at this point if you're a fan. But lyrically, it seems to be breaking away from what she's done in the past. I mean, it's not as an emotional or powerful song as Praying, which she released earlier, which I think this track actually deviates from, but in a lyrical sense, it's more developed than some of her previous works. I mean, has this song made me a Kesha fan? Absolutely not, but I'm happy to see that her lyrics are evolving, and she's no longer just trying to appeal to the rebellious spirits of teenage and preteen girls. So, good for you, Kesha. Well, that about wraps it up for this week as far as tracks. If you have any future tracks that you'd like me to review next week, be sure to leave a comment, as well as any albums that you'd like me to review. Be sure to follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I will see you guys next week. Bye-bye.